Alexei Borov here. Going to be a quick deck profile for my Helios deck. The main card of the deck is going to be Helios Trismegistus, and I'll get to that in a second, but the whole goal of the deck is to summon this card with a very high amount of attack and hit your opponent really hard. Pretty simple. So first it's going to be 2 Helios Trismegistus, then 2 Helios Duo Magistus, 3 DD Warrior Ladies, 2 Necrofaces, 3 DD Warriors, 2 Honests, 2 Helios the Primordial Sun, 2 Banisher of the Radiance, 2 Banisher of the Light, 2 Soul Release, 1 Regeki, 2 Dark Hole, Gold Sarcophagus, Inferno Tempest, DD Borderline, 1 Dimensional Fissure, 3 Different Dimension Reincarnation, 1 Bottomless, 3 Karma Cut, 1 Macrocosmos, and 1 Solemn Warning. I don't think I said the amount of these before. There's 2 Macro Tempests and 3 DD Borderlines. Okay, so let me first say, I know this is a Banish deck, and I know you can't discard Honest with a Banish card on the field, but if you don't have a Banish card on the field, such as Dimensional Fissure, Macrocosmos, or the Banishers, you can absolutely drop Honest on any one of your Helioses and DD Warrior Lady, because they're light. So I think 1 Honest is, a good choice. It's nice if they destroy your back row and you don't have any support cards. Anyway, Helios, let's start with this guy. Helios the Primordial Sun, he's a level 4, you can just normal summon him. He gains 100 attack and defense for each removed from play monster. Helios Duo Magistus gains 200 attack. It gains, yes, 200 attack for each removed from play monster. And Trismegistus gains 300 attack for each removed from play monster. And it can attack once more if your opponent controls a monster. Okay, that's not important. Anyway, it has a large amount of attack, and that's all that matters. An easy way to summon this is you can normal summon Helios the Primordial Sun, tribute Helios to special summon Helios Duo Magistus, and then you can tribute Duo Magistus to special summon Trismegistus. They can all be special summoned by tributing the lesser form of themselves. DD Warrior Lady, if it's attack or if it attacks, you can banish the other monster and it, so it's nice to just get rid of troublesome cards. Necroface, if it's banished, both players remove from play the top 5 cards of their deck, which is really nice. 2 of those. DD Warrior has the exact same effect as DD Warrior Lady. Honest, obviously. Banisher of the Radiance, it's essentially a Macrocosmos on wheels. While this card is face up on the field, anything sent to the graveyard is banished instead. And Banisher of the Light has the exact same effect, but it's has more defense. That has 2,000 defense. This card has 0 defense. I play 2 Soul Releases. So what Soul Release allows you to do is banish 5 cards from any graveyard. Regeki, obviously destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Dark Hole, destroy all monsters in the field. Gold Sarcophagus, banish 1 card from your deck. During your second standby phase, add it to your hand. A good combination is to activate Gold Sarcophagus and obviously banish Necroface, because that means you're going to banish 5 more cards and your opponent is going to banish 5 more cards. I play Inferno Tempest, and this card is absolutely absurd. If your opponent... I don't play Grinder Golem, here, I'll show you. Grinder... a card you might want to add in is Grinder Golem. What he does is, it's a 3,000 monster that your opponent gets. You can special summon it to your opponent's side of the field, and you get 0 attack tokens. And what you could do is actually attack into the monster with the tokens and chain Inferno Tempest. And what Inferno Tempest does is, whenever you take 3,000 or more battle damage from 1 attack, every monster in both players' decks get removed from play. Every monster in both players' decks, just gone. So, I don't know if it's considered an OTK, but they got nothing after you use this. But I don't use it in this deck, because it's kind of a deck on its own. I like to try and focus on Helios in this deck, but this is a good choice. I play DD Borderline. What this card does is, When there are no spell cards in your graveyard, neither player can conduct a battle phase. It's a great stall card when you're trying to just start keep banishing cards to buff up your Helioses. It's another reason I play Soul Release, because if you have like, let's say, Dark Hole and a Regeki in your graveyard, if you have a banished card on the field, you could just activate Soul Release, banish any spell cards in your graveyard, and then there you go. There's your DD borderline. Maybe if Necroface is in the graveyard for some reason, you could activate Soul Release and go ahead and banish Necroface. Soul Release is all around a great card. It's also nice if you're fighting players that use the graveyard, like Dragon decks, etc., etc. Dimensional Fissure, it banishes all monsters that are sent to the graveyard. It does not count for XYZ materials, by the way. Different Dimension Reincarnation, you discard a card, target a banished monster, and special summon it in attack position. It's essentially Monster Reborn for anything banished. It works really good if you have a banished Helios Trismegistus, because the Helioses don't have a particular summoning condition, so you just summon them however you want. Where are we at? Next is Bottomless Trap Hole, because it's an all-around great card. If your opponent summons a strong monster, just flip Bottomless, banish the monster. Karma Cut is a pretty good card. If you have, let's say, a Banisher on the field, or Macrocosmos, or even a Dimensional Fissure, and you activate Karma Cut to banish one of your opponent's monsters, it also banishes all of their monsters with that name from the graveyard, and what you discard if you have a Banisher on the field would also get banished. So what I've done several times is activated Karma Cut while I had, let's say, Banisher of the Radiance on the field, and my Necroface that I would have normally discarded got banished instead, and we just banished 5 more. There's a lot of combos with this deck. Next is Macrocosmos. Obviously, anything that would be sent to the graveyard is just banished instead. And finally, Solemn Warning, for anything you can't deal with. Like I said, the whole idea of the deck is just to get Helios Trismegistus out with an absurdly high amount of attack, murder your opponent's face. Alright, see you guys later.